Hello everyone, this is Eve, and I'm coming to you with You'll Learn to Love Me, a Yandere Masky X-Reader by FluffyWubs. I'm going to be starting off with Chapter 3. Weekend, finally. The 2 days I've been yearning for the entire week. It isn't exactly a peaceful weekend like I would usually have, mainly because I have a party to attend. I didn't want to go, obviously. I was still deathly afraid of Nathan. How did he find out I was even going to this party? I have been staying at Emma's place for the entire week now. I didn't feel too safe in my apartment, and I was currently in front of the mirror as Emma did my hair into a gorgeous updo. I wasn't big on having different hairstyles on my hair, but Emma insisted to do something different, mainly because she told me that I'd find someone new at the party. It hasn't even been a week since I left Nathan. What makes her think I'll move on so quickly? I still let her do her thing to me, though, as long as she stays happy. She lent me one of her fancy dresses since I didn't exactly have any, and I didn't go out so often, so why bother getting dresses? Emma smiled as she tucked a lone hair lock that hung in front of my face behind my ear. There, now let me zip that up for you, Emma hummed proudly as she pulled the zipper of the dress I had on my back up. The dress is a bit too tight for me, but that's understandable. Emma's a lot smaller than I am. Emma patted me on the shoulder as if telling me to stand up. I obliged, standing up in the chair I was sitting on and take a good look at myself in the mirror. In all honesty, I could barely recognize myself. My skin was clear like a porcelain doll because of all the makeup Emma had caked onto my face. My eyes looked much bigger than usual, giving me a more older look than I actually am. I didn't look half bad, and if I do say so myself. From the mirror's reflection, I could see Emma smiling brightly, slightly rocking on her heels. She hadn't even gotten her ready herself, since she was too busy fixing me up. We still have around 2 or 3 hours to spare, though she had enough time to doll herself up. Well, Emma asked me with a smile, placing both hands on my shoulder as she looks at my reflection. What do you think? She questions, eagerly awaiting for my answer. Of course, she was expecting a compliment on her good work, and she damn well deserved it. Thanks. For the first time, I don't feel like I'm avoiding a mirror. I chuckled to myself as Emma snickered, rolling her eyes in a playful manner. While you stay here checking yourself out, I'm going to get ready. In case you don't want to eat anything at the party, I got a few snacks in the kitchen. Emma smiled, patting both of my shoulders once before leaving the room. I nodded as a reply before returning my attention to my own reflection. Never have I looked this fancy. I'm not sure why Emma decided to dress me so elegant. It's a house party, not some fancy dinner party. I shrugged my shoulders at the thought and walked out of the room, heading to the living room. I definitely want to eat something before going to the party, and God knows whatever could be in their food, especially with Logan nearby. He probably dosed his food with some kind of soft drugs. Walking my way into the kitchen, I open up Emma's snack cabinet, where she usually keeps all her sweets and treats. I scan all the various goodies in the cabinet before grabbing a pack of chocolate chip cookies. This would probably keep me full for a few hours, enough to not eat anything at the party. Holding the pack of cookies in my hand, I walk back into her living room and sit on the couch before taking out one of the sweet treats and munching on it. Emma would be done soon, I assume, so I won't even bother to turn on the TV for entertainment for myself. As I gobble down my first cookie and grab the next one, I can't help but wonder. Who was the unknown number? I suspected Logan at first, but there's no possible way he could have my number. It could be a wrong number, but then again, how could an unknown number text me about the party? Talking about the number, I should probably check my phone if I had gotten any new messages. I grabbed my small purse that I had left on the couch before opening it up while placing the pack of cookies aside. I fished my phone out of my bag and turned it on, and surprisingly, I indeed got new messages, except they weren't from an unknown number. They were from Nathan. I was almost scared to open them up, biting the inside of my cheek. I quickly tapped on the messages. 20 of them. 20 messages sent, one after another. I didn't even bother to read the first few texts and scroll to the bottom. You better pray I don't find you at that fucking party, babe. Even after a threat, he still has the guts to call me babe. Shivering, I quickly shut off my phone and push it back into my bag. For the love of everything that's holy, what could he possibly want from me? He's a filthy, lying cheater. Does he expect me to still like him? The 3 years we've dated probably meant nothing to him. Clutching onto the fabric of my dress, I try to blink away the tears from my eyes. No need to cry. I've got better reasons to cry. I'm surely not going to waste my tears on that asshole. Besides, it would ruin the gorgeous makeup Emma did on me. I sigh to myself and stand up, grabbing the pack of cookies into my hands, and Emma would be done in a few more minutes if I'm correct. I storage the cookies back in their rightful place before returning to the living room. Are you ready to go, Ian? I could hear Emma ask excitedly. Her heels clicked on her wooden floor as she walked into the living room. She was fixing up one of her hoop earrings before patting down her dress. She looks great. I hope Logan won't try anything on her just by seeing how she looks. Yeah, let's go. I responded as I grabbed my purse. Emma froze at the tone of my voice and frowned. You sound nervous. Are you okay? She asks. Do I really sound nervous? I guess Nathan's text really got to me. I give her my most convincing smile and nod. I'm fine. I just binged too many cookies. I shortly laugh, making Emma's smile return. Hope you don't end up getting a stomachache. Come on, we should probably head out. Emma grabbed her house keys along with her car keys from her small coffee table. I grab my purse as Emma opens up her front door, waiting for me to exit. Should I bring a coat with me? This dress wouldn't keep me warm, obviously, but then again, I wasn't going to party outside. I didn't bother grabbing one of Emma's jackets and headed straight outside. I didn't even waste a second before immediately stepping into Emma's car to get some warmth. Emma was locking the doors behind her before she rushes over to the car. If she keeps running like that on heels and on snow, she'll probably end up twisting an ankle. That's Emma for you. Emma steps into the driver's seat and shuts the door, letting out a sigh of relief from getting into the warmth of the car. She took a moment to wrap her bare arms around herself to warm up a bit faster. Maybe we should have brought coats. Should I get one real quick? I offer, pointing at Emma's door through her car window. Emma shakes her head, strapping the seatbelt over her body whilst I did the exact same. No, it's fine, she said, fixing up her rearview mirror above her before returning her hands to the wheel. We won't be spending any time outside, so don't worry. Emma smiled before starting up her car with a twist of her keys, and off we go to Logan's party. The closer we got to our destination, the more nervous I got. I put my phone on silent just in case Nathan or anyone else would send me any more texts. I did not want to deal with them right now. Emma parked her car in front of a large house that almost looked like a mansion. People were in the front lawn of the house drinking or just talking to each other. The front door of the house was wide open, allowing the explosion of colored lights to burst outside. Blaring music could be heard coming from inside the party. I felt nervous. Way too nervous. Emma parked her car in front of the house, and she placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder, as if she could sense how nervous I actually am. I turn my head to look at her, and she flashes me a brief smile. You'll be fine. I'll stay with you as long as you need, okay? She grins before unbuckling her belt. I reply with a smile as a thank you before undoing my own seatbelt. I step out of the car, immediately being greeted by a gush of wind mixed with snow. I waited a few seconds for Emma to lock her car before following her into the house. The colorful flashing lights were almost blinding. Even the terrible blaring house music was making me go deaf. The house was crowded, and no matter where I looked, there were always crowds of people huddled together, somewhere around the drinks and snacks table, minding their own business. I felt Emma grab my arm tightly, making me look down to her. She was excitedly looking at someone that was in the kitchen, her lips breaking into a huge grin. I followed her gaze, only to realize that she was eyeing Logan. I pursed my lips. I definitely did not want to greet him. You go on ahead. I'll explore the house a bit. I give her a grin. Emma looks up at me. Are you sure? I can stay with you if you want. Emma offered, slowly releasing her grip on my arm. I'm fine. Go get him. But if he tries anything, you better call me ASAP. I warned her sternly, to which she only grinned and nodded. Of course, hun. I'll see you in a few minutes, Kay? She gave me a quick side hug before rushing to the kitchen. Well, here I am now, surrounded by drunken young adults. Didn't Logan have a cat roaming around his house? Maybe I could find it and spend some time with it until Emma's back. I carefully shuffled myself through the crowds of people before reaching the stairs. It was much more peaceful up there. I hold onto the railing as I climb up, and there were a few people up here, but not too many. Most of them were just intoxicated people flirting with each other. I managed to make my way past them. One of the doors up here would be Logan's room, where his cat would most likely be. Now, which door could it be? I take a lucky guess and head for the very last door. Opening the door up, I realized that not only was this the bathroom, but there were two people intensely making out with each other in the bathtub. Squeaking out a quick apology, I slammed the door shut. God, can't these people do that outside? Shaking my head to myself, I go to the next door and open it up. Finally. This is the door I was looking for. Just as I was about to enter peacefully, I felt someone push me in rather forcefully. I heard the door slam shut before I could even react, and just as I was about to yell at whoever pushed me inside, my back hit the door from another shove I had received, causing me to drop my purse to the ground. I looked up, meeting with a pair of eyes I have seen before. I immediately felt intimidated and scared and nervous, as if this night couldn't get worse. Now I was trapped inside of a room with Nathan. His gaze was piercing into mine as hard as stone. Both of his arms were pressed on the door on either side of me, trapping me in such a small space. His face was flushed, and just by his breath I could tell he had been drinking. Maybe a little too much. Babe, 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 he chanted, shaking his head at each word. He looks at me, cracking a sly, almost goofy-looking smirk on his face. You can't leave me that easily, you know? He cooed, leaning his face closer towards mine. This is an immediately red alarm. I quickly ducked down and passed under his arms, grabbing my purse in the process before backing myself away from him. He was blocking the door. There was no way out unless I jump out the window, and no way in hell I'd be doing that. Nathan chuckles, shaking his head as he turned around to face me. Oh, Wyan, stubborn as always. He laughed lightly, stalking his way towards me. I fumble with my bag, quickly fishing out my phone as quick as I can. I try to call Emma's number. Right after the first ring, my phone was snatched out of my hands and thrown against the wall, cracking in the process. I cringed at the sound. Before I knew it, I was suddenly pushed onto Logan's bed. Both of my wrists were taken into Nathan's grip, pinning them above my head. I swallowed back a yelp. What in the world does he think he's doing? My body tenses up as his free hand caresses my hips and thighs, and his eyes scanned along my entire body, occasionally stopping on my chest. I can't show fear. I can't be weak. Get off, Nathan. I bark as I try to kick my legs. He only takes it as a sign to continue. Please do struggle, babe. It only turns me on. He grins before leaning down, placing a trail of kisses on my neck. I felt disgusting, knowing he probably slept with someone before coming to this party. His hand caresses my inner thighs. He places a surprisingly soft kiss on my lips. I snap my head to the side, disconnecting myself from him, fucking dirty bastard. He shoots me a dangerous look, to which I cower under in fear. He can be scary when he wants to. Get off. I repeat once more in a much calmer voice. Maybe he'll come back to his senses and realize what he's doing, and just before he could reply, the door slammed open. Get off her, pervert. Before I knew it, I felt Nathan being pushed off of me, causing him to tumble to the ground. Emma let out a huff as she grabbed my wrist and hoisted me up. For someone smaller than me, she sure had a ton of strength in her. We're getting out of here, I gasped when Emma suddenly was struck on the face, causing her to fall on the ground from such force. Emma! I cried out. There was no way Nathan hit her. Emma was too shocked to even process what had happened and just sat on the ground, holding her cheek whilst looking at the floor with wide eyes. You and I are leaving this place, Nathan sneered lowly as he gripped my hand tightly. I felt tears build up in my eyes as I shook my head. I tried to pull my hand away from his, but that only caused him to get a tighter grip on mine, almost crushing my fingers. Let go, please. I begged as I kept my eyes fixated on Emma. She tried to be the hero, yet that only got her into trouble. I shouldn't have called her. I have to go help her. I have to comfort her. God, her cheek was becoming so red. How dare he lay a finger on her? I took matters into my own hands and arched my knee up, causing it to come in contact with his groin. He let out a grunt, releasing his grip enough for me to wrestle out of it. I rush over to Emma and help her back onto her feet. Her cheek was bright red as her tears glided over both of her cheeks. You're okay, it's okay, I breathed out shakily, trying to comfort her as best as I could. I didn't even pay attention to how quick Nathan was standing back up. You whore, he spat bitterly. I could rush past him, but Emma seemed too shocked to even move on her own. I can't leave her here alone. I led her to the corner of the room, away from Nathan as far as possible. He had this look in his eyes, the look of pure hatred. He cringed once he took a step. I did knee him pretty hard. He deserves it, anyways. You're both going to get it, Nathan seethed slowly. I try to shield Emma away as best as I can. I don't want her to get hurt again by some psychopathic cheater. As Nathan makes his way towards me slowly, I brace myself for whatever's coming, and funny enough, nothing. All I hear was a loud thump before opening my eyes. Someone tackled Nathan down to the floor. The stranger had his hands wrapped around Nathan's throat, squeezing all the air out of him. Lay a hand on her again, motherfucker, I dare you. He sneered venomously, squeezing his throat even tighter at the word dare. This stranger, he sure looked odd. He had a white, feminine-looking mask that hid his real identity. As much as I hated Nathan, I didn't wish death on him. I wouldn't wish death on anyone. Wait. Hey, stop. I squeak out. I try to push the stranger off, but he wouldn't budge. Hell, his eyes wouldn't even spare a glance towards me. It was as if he weren't even here. Stop, you're going to kill him. I shout over Nathan's choking noises. The stranger spared me a glance, making brief eye contact with me behind his mask. Please, for the love of God, stop. I begged loudly as tears streamed down my face in a panic. I didn't want him to die. He'll learn. The stranger spat as he dug his hand in his pocket. He pulled out a small firearm. Is that real? Oh God, please no. I jumped when a loud bang echoed throughout the room. It felt as if the world stopped spinning and the entire party went quiet. The stranger fired 2 more shots into Nathan's head, causing his blood to splatter everywhere. I don't even know how to react. I had all these overwhelming emotions going through me. I swear I felt a few droplets splash into my arm and dress, and I can't scream. My eyes were just wide open, staring down at this horribly disfigured head of Nathan. His face was completely blown apart as the stranger stood up with a huff. Oh God. I choked out. My body started to tremble out of fear. The stranger turned to me, making my blood run cold. Is he going to kill me too? I could hear screams erupting from downstairs. They probably heard the gunshots. I felt Emma grip my arm in fear. Why, Anne? She whimpered quietly, staring at the murderer with wide, teary eyes. The masked stranger took a step towards me, making me shrink into the corner. Are you okay, princess? He asked me with a much softer voice than before. I couldn't say anything. All I could do was watch as the stranger caressed my cheek with such gentleness. I couldn't believe this was coming from a murderer. No matter how much my mind screamed at me to run, I couldn't. I swallowed out of fear, my eyes darting in every direction. Maybe I could find a weapon, anything to hit him with. I suddenly hear police sirens outside. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. Oh, thank God. The masked murderer seemed to hear the sirens outside, making him stiffen up. I'll see you soon, sweetheart. The stranger hushed his goodbye to me before opening up the window and jumping out. Footsteps were rushing upstairs, and Emma was crying out of fear. What just happened? That is the end of that chapter. Yeah, I like this. I really like this series. I'm geeking. I know what it is. Y'all make, oh, I can't. This is making me geek out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully my stuttering ain't too bad. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.